to police.
All of a sudden, a couple hours later, Terence Crawford is held at gunpoint for a traffic stop?
Don't step out.
I'm opening the door. You can take mine off for me.
It is shocking that only hours after being celebrated like royalty in a city parade filled with cheers, lights, and excitement, Terence Bud Crawford suddenly found himself in a much darker moment, with police sirens blaring, guns pointed at him, and officers shouting for him to step out of his car at gunpoint, leaving everyone wondering how such a high point in his great career could so quickly turn into one of the most humiliating and unforgettable moments possible.
Seatbelt.
You don't step out.
I'm opening the door. You can take mine off for me right here on my right. I'm keeping my fucking hands up.
I'm not reaching for no gun, bro. Step out. Can I?
Make sure to drop a like and hit subscribe, because you will not want to miss this one as we break down the full truth about Crawford, past arrests, his sentencing record, the legal battles he has dealt with, and the non-stop shocking headlines that always seem to follow him no matter where he goes. On September 27, Omaha lit up in celebration of its hometown champion only weeks after Crawford amazed the entire boxing world by defeating Canelo Alvarez, a huge win that secured his place as the first male boxer to claim 3 unified division championships. The city honored him with a lively parade as fans filled the sidewalks, and Mayor John Yuang arrived to congratulate him, and the celebration felt even bigger because it was also Crawford's 38th birthday, giving Omaha residents twice the reason to cheer. But when night came, everything shifted from joy to chaos, as around 1:30 in the morning, Omaha police said they saw a vehicle speeding and swerving dangerously near the downtown area where the festivities were held, and that car was identified as Crawford's, leading to the viral scene of flashing lights, officers shouting, and the boxer being ordered out of his vehicle at gunpoint.
Yeah, that's crazy.
Footage on social media shows Crawford cooperating fully, taking off his seatbelt and letting officers handcuff him, a tense moment as the world champion was treated like a dangerous suspect in the same hometown that had cheered him only hours earlier. Police later said one firearm was on the driver's side floorboard and another legal gun was with a member of his security team. Officials confirmed both weapons were legal, and Crawford only received a reckless driving citation. He was not arrested and did not face jail time, only the ticket. Even so, Omaha Police Chief Todd Schmader quickly announced an internal review, while Mayor Yuang publicly called for complete transparency, saying in a Facebook post that his heart sank when he learned the joyful celebration had turned dark, and stressing how important it is for the community and police to protect trust and accountability.
Caused it to occur is myself, my chief of staff, Tom Warren, both reached out to Mr. Crawford, and he indicated that he would like us to do an investigation.
Officials talked about giving the public clear answers, but for many fans the damage was already done, as the viral video added another dramatic chapter to the long history between Terence Crawford and law enforcement. And the surprising part is that this incident was not his first time appearing in a police report. Long before the Canelo win and long before the parade controversy, Crawford had already dealt with a serious legal issue that nearly affected the direction of his career. In 2016, he was found guilty in Omaha of disorderly conduct and property damage after a tense dispute inside a local auto repair shop. The story goes that Crawford brought his prized 1984 Chevrolet Monte Carlo to the shop for a custom paint job and paid half the cost in advance. But when he returned and was unhappy with the work, he refused to pay the remaining amount, leading to a heated argument that escalated into the kind of moment no champion ever once connected to his name. The auto shop owner later testified that Crawford, along with several companions, decided to take matters into their own hands by lowering his Monte Carlo from a hydraulic lift, tying it with a rope and dragging it out. But in the process, they left the machine running, which burned out the pump and caused more than $3,000 in damage. When the case went to trial, the jury rejected Crawford's defense and found him guilty. And Judge Markina Rise made headlines by telling him, "You acted like you were above the law, but you're not." The punishment was heavy: 90 days in jail and 2 years of probation for a world-class athlete worth millions. It was a painful setback. His lawyer immediately argued the sentence was far too severe, saying Crawford had no serious record and the penalty did not match the situation. Crawford appealed right away and posted a $10,000 bond, and within a year a higher court removed the jail time, but left the probation, a ruling that saved his career. Even though the humiliation of that courtroom moment has stayed with him ever since. The incident kept coming back every time Crawford's name showed up in new police stories, and as expected, it was not his last trouble. In Omaha in March 2017, while his appeal in the auto shop case was still pending, his name appeared again, this time in connection to a heated incident outside a clothing store called City Trends. Reports say 2 women went into the shop to confront an employee, and later the argument moved to the parking lot where several cars arrived and things got out of control. One of those cars was driven by Terence Crawford. Officers stepped in quickly and pulled over the vehicle, where they found a legally registered firearm belonging to him. Crawford was briefly detained and questioned, but released with no charges. His lawyer later said all his belongings, including the gun, were returned within a few days, and because his earlier case was still under appeal, he was not on probation at the time. In the end, there were no charges and no conviction, but once again Crawford's name filled the headlines for the wrong reasons, adding more trouble to his public image.
He had a big parade because they were welcoming home their champion. And a couple hours later, Crawford was stopped, traffic stop, at gunpoint by some cops. Gunpoint, because they said it was some reckless driving or something like that. He just did a parade in Omaha, Nebraska. And don't tell me that Omaha, Nebraska is big. You know this parade was going on, especially a parade. Police know when there's a parade because they usually are the ones that organize it, block off.
Connected to yet another street-level confrontation, the incident once again sparked debate among supporters and critics, asking the same question: is Terence Crawford simply a famous target in a small city, or does trouble somehow keep finding him beyond the legal issues? Crawford also faced a major fight outside the ring, this time with his own promoter. In January 2022, he filed a $5.4 million lawsuit against Bob Arum and Top Rank, the powerful promotion he had signed with back in 2011. The case made headlines fast as Crawford accused the 90-year-old Arum of racial bias, breach of contract, and purposely holding back the growth of his career.
No, because Terence Crawford is a great talent. We always said that he was a great talent. He's proved through his career that he's a great talent. The question is, can you match up his economic demands with his actual marketability?
Crawford's lawsuit argued that Arum repeatedly failed to deliver on key promises, most importantly the long-awaited showdown with Errol Spence Jr., all while damaging Crawford's reputation across the boxing world. His legal team painted a picture of a promoter who consistently pushed white and Latino fighters to the front of the line, leaving black athletes overlooked and undervalued. A pattern they said cast Crawford as intentionally sidelined, held back, and mistreated at the very moment he should have been rising to his fullest spotlight.
I knew he was gonna be here.
And you knew I was gonna pull up.
That's why I came.
Did you know I was gonna pull up?
Oh God, I knew he was gonna be here.
Did you know I was gonna pull up?
Where you at?
Did you know
I got a text message from 3 o'clock.
And you got a FaceTime from me and you didn't answer.
I don't know your number.
But now you know. Save it.
Arum fired back with force, blasting the lawsuit as reckless, baseless, and downright absurd, insisting that his entire career had been built on elevating fighters of every background. To him, Crawford's accusations weren't just false. They were a calculated attempt at extortion. And underneath all the noise was the money trail driving the tension. Crawford claimed Top Rank had cost him millions in lost opportunities, pointing to contracts where promised deals evaporated, including a $900,000 bonus tied to the long-awaited Spence fight. A bout that never happened. In his eyes, it was proof that the promoter didn't just mishandle his career. He sabotaged his earning power.
And we were not able to do that. Terence did well in the, was extraordinarily good fighting Spence. They did very well economically. But again, if you ran it back and you had Terence fighting Spence again, I really don't believe that it would do it.
To fans, the lawsuit meant far more than money. It was about loyalty-tested racial tension and the power imbalance in a sport where fighters often feel trapped by the system. That Crawford, a generational talent and one of the most dominant boxers alive, accused his longtime promoter of betrayal, made the story even bigger. It showed that his battles extended beyond the ring, with promoters, legal teams, and public opinion all against him. Courtroom exchanges felt like rounds in another exhausting fight. Yet his true challenge was still ahead under boxing's brightest lights. By the summer of 2025, that moment came as Crawford faced Canelo Alvarez, one of the sport's most celebrated champions. What followed was more than a fight. It was a historic moment. In a stunning performance, Crawford systematically outshone Canelo and won by unanimous decision, becoming the first male boxer to unify titles in 3 different weight divisions.
Omaha, Nebraska, USA, and new Ring Magazine, an undisputed super middleweight champion of the world.